Hello everyone, it's Cassie and welcome back for another video here on my YouTube channel. Today we are celebrating the Trinity Stamps 2025 January release, and I've got a very fun card to share with you. So this is the toaster card die set. Yes, it makes a toaster with all those pieces, and believe it or not, that can fit into a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card envelope. So basically an A2 size envelope, and you get all the pieces to make toast, a toaster, and words to go along with it. So I'm so excited about that. We also have the Simply Sentimental Friends stamp set. You'll know how I feel about some Simply Sentimental stamp sets. They're like Pokemon, you gotta get them all. So I'm also going to be using some glossy red cardstock because I wanted a glossy red toaster. And then I've got a couple of embellishments here. We're going to be using the powder pink hearts. I just didn't know at the time. So let me show you the pieces for this. I went ahead and die cut all those pieces out. I have 2 of the toaster outline pieces. So we're going to put this together to make one card. I've also got 2 of the red pieces, and then we've also got 1 of the white pieces, and I'll show you what that white piece is for. We're going to go ahead and we're going to just assemble this card using some liquid glue. I'm going to put the front of our toaster together. And I'm going to do the same thing with the back. You could like avoid this if you didn't want it to be a 360 card, but I wanted it to be front and back. You could just do white cardstock if you wanted. You could, like I said, completely avoid this part. Now with that white piece of cardstock, I want the back like basically that you can't put anything in it. So I'm just going to put some liquid glue on the bottom and then just on the very edge of this white piece, and we're going to attach that to our card basically from the inside. And that's going to give you that white look, so it'll make sure that it's completely closed, and also you're not going to be able to put anything in the back part of the toaster. And so then if you, even when you're looking through the front of the toaster, this way it ensures that your toast will go inside that front part of the card. So very cool. And then to assemble this, I'm putting a decent amount on the base, but I'm also just sticking to the outside of the card because I want to make sure that that toast is going to fit in there perfectly. So, and I need to let this sit and dry for a bit before I can just, I'll play around with it to make sure the toast will go in there, but just keep in mind nothing's quite dry yet. So everything's going to fit. It's going to be great. So I'll set that off to the side to dry for just a few seconds before we move on to the rest of the toaster. Now I'm using the outline or the packaging to show me how to put this together. You could, of course, creative license, sort of do what you want, but I'm doing the same thing that they've got going on there. So I've got my base. I do need to cut another one of those for the back of the toaster, but I've got my base and I cut that out of some black. My dial, that's just some silver cardstock I had from my stash, and I'm kind of lining that up on my glass mat just to make sure everything's fairly centered. And then I'll add the dots of glue at the bottom. I go from middle on the outside just so that I can make sure that those are fairly centered as well. Eyeballing things doesn't always work, but that's what we're going to do. And then we will use some liquid glue to adhere down this little piece of the dial. And then I have the little push button on the side for the toaster, and I was a little afraid that maybe everything had been completely glued together on that side, but we had a little space, so very excited about that. So I could just kind of put a little glue on the handle and put that inside there. All right, so our toaster is done. How quick and easy was that? And so like I said, I do need to cut out another piece and attach that down. But I'm obsessed. Like, I'm going to be using this toaster for all the cards, like all the congratulations cards, whether it be welcome new baby or graduation, anniversary. Just think of the options for this making a toast kind of card. I love it. I love it so much. I'm blending what I have already on my blending brush, my brown one. And so I've got a little bit going on there. And then I do bring out, I think it's some walnut stain, just to add a little bit of texture to the outside of both our front and back of our bread piece of toast. Now, like I said, this is a part of a hop, so I'm going to have all the details linked in the description box down below. You're going to want to make sure you head there so you can see all the rest of the inspiration. Like I said, it's also an Instagram hop, so there's a couple different options there. There's even going to be more inspiration over on Instagram. But I'm so excited about this. I love it so much. I just made a piece of toast. It also comes with words. You've got your toast, you've got the word and the shadow, and then I just brought out 2 and A. And then this is where I brought in the Simply Sentimental stamp set. I'm using the word friendship. I die cut the shadows out of some pink, and I didn't know exactly if I wanted to do white or black, so I went ahead and die cut both out of white and black just so that I could visualize how that was going to look. I decided on the white for the pieces that go on top of our shadows, and so using my tweezers or my reverse tweezers along with my liquid glue, I'm able to adhere everything down to the front of those. Like I said, I'm really obsessed with this toaster die set. I just feel like there's so many options, and it's just darling. It looks, the red one I made sort of looks kind of retro, which is fun. And I would love to have a red toaster. I think that would go beautifully in my, I don't know if they make red toasters. Maybe they do. I've never actually looked. So I think we have the old traditional silver one, but I've seen them all. So yeah, now I'm just taking out the word friendship, and it does have the 2 little dots, which are actually called tittles, 2 little dots for the eyes in the word friendship. So I wanted to make sure I didn't lose those. And I'm just using, again, the reverse tweezers along with that liquid glue. So that way I can easily adhere this down to the shadow. There's also the stamp. So if you didn't want to die cut it out, you could stamp it and then use the shadow to die cut out the word. So there's that option also. And I do love how the stamp, you can buy the stamp. You don't have to have just the die as well, but you could also just simply buy the die because the die works by itself also. However, I'm, got to have it all. So I want the words that go along with it, all the great little sentiments. All right, so we've got all of our things pieced together. So now I'm kind of trying to figure out the placement. And I will give you a little tip. Obviously, the word friendship goes beyond the toast itself, but that's okay. As long as it will fit in the insert of your toaster, you'll be fine. So yeah, it goes beyond the toast, but it's not going to be a big deal because it will still fit inside the toaster. So like I said, I've got a toast, and then we've got the word to. So a toast to friendship. What a fun little sentiment. And that you could, again, use just about whatever you want. A toast to you, a toast to love, all the things. A toast to mom, a toast to dad. Because there's also Simply Sentimentals of that as well. Now, like I said, I wanted to use those powder pink hearts. I'm going to pull out 3 of them. They're all the same size, but they're so pretty. And they go really well with the pink that I chose. And I'm doing that pink and that red for love and Valentine's, since Valentine's Day is coming. But like I said, there's lots of color combos you could do for your little toaster and your toast. I'm going to need to let that dry just a little bit, but everything's done. Check it out. While that was drying, I put everything away, but let me show you how the toast fits inside the toaster. Obsessed. Yes, 100% obsessed. I love it. So there you go. Go ahead and hop along. Go check out what everybody's made. It's down in the description box down below. If you like this video, hit that like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.